All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Living Hope Agency call. I'm very excited to have our special guest on here, Mrs. Madison Hill from Americo. Madison, how we doing?
Hello, how are you?
We're good. Madison is our absolute favorite carrier representative, and I'm not afraid to say it. So we love Madison, and we're happy to have her here. She sent Josh that really cool Americo hat. So if everybody on here wants
Yes,
one,
I love it.
and she will she'll make sure she gets you some hats at some point. But Madison, thank you so much for being with us. We've been talking about IUL for a long, long time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Josh and I, stopped you or Bobby in the hallway in the last 2.5 years to talk about this product, and we're excited about it. What has it been like at Americo Corporate, kind of bringing this product to fruition over the last 2 years?
Yeah, so we are super, super excited about this product. I mean, it has been all hands on deck for a really long time. We've worked really hard. I think, a lot of companies could throw together an IUL and put it out to market pretty quickly, and some definitely have. And, we took our time with it and we wanted to make sure it was extremely competitive. It was one of the best products out there. Price wise, it's great. Feature wise, it's great. It has all the same features that you already love with Americo. So we're really proud of it. It's really been all hands on deck for the last 18 months, around the clock, just to make sure it was everything that you guys have asked for, wanted, and it was perfect and ready to go.
100%. I mean, I just want to go ahead and highlight just a couple of things because I think it's just really important, and we can maybe, even pull up the some of the resources that we have access to for everybody to know what there is. But one of the things that I think is, and again, we love all of our carriers, but we love Americo and they love us a little bit more, and that's why they pay us the best. So we love to and their products are great for our clients. I want to make sure that's first and foremost. But
Yeah.
they have opened up a window for us, which I think is so cool. They are able to get us covered from 18 to 75 on this product, which is huge. So before, all Americo term products in Madison, correct me if I'm wrong, started at
Mhm.
20 years old, correct?
Correct. Yep. This is
Okay.
our lowest product available.
So an 18-year-old can get covered up to 75. And again, without naming any competitors, some of our competitors, IULs, as you get older, you have less coverage available. Okay. So with this one, you could theoretically write a $450,000 IUL for a 75-year-old man or a 75-year-old female, which is unheard of to be able to do because most carriers are going to stair step down the amount of coverage available, especially on a simplified issue basis, is crazy. The next main thing is that the underwriting is the exact same, which is also crazy. And it's the same e-signature. It's the same e-app, which is amazing. We love the technology with Americo. And then, competitive pricing, from everything that I've seen, which is awesome because a lot of people say, well, Americo pays you the best, so they must be the most expensive. But looking at the example that was given in some of the Americo training for a 40-year-old male versus a 40-year-old male at some of our other carriers, it was like dollars and cents difference for the exact same amount of coverage, which was just mind blowing. So we're very excited. Josh, I'd love if you came on here real quick and just gave a few thoughts on what you're excited about, and obviously if you want to chime in with any questions for Madison, we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, number one, appreciate it, Madison, and yeah, definitely appreciate the hat. I think I'm the only one on here that has one. I'm just going to throw that out. So
But
I'm
you're my favorite
clearly
today.
Madison's favorite. I just want to get that on camera. But no, anyway, like you said, Jamie, for all the same reasons, we're super excited about it. I know that some of us already have plans for Friday on people that we're going to be talking to. But it just makes it so nice because in the IUL space, it's becoming more popular. More people are running those types of leads and things like that. You go from there's a couple of simplified options, and then all of a sudden you're in the land of very long, intensive underwriting times, APSs, phone interviews, who knows when it's going to get issued. And like you said, I mean, you get stuck, especially as you get older, in these like really small limits of insurance. So really, really excited for this is like just going to open up a whole nother level of being able to do business for all different age groups. So that's probably what I'm most excited about. So I don't know that I have necessarily any like questions that I want to throw out right yet because I haven't seen all the things. So I'm kind of waiting to see a few things. But and I also don't want to put Madison on the spot too much because I don't want her to be mad at me.
Fair enough. Well, Madison, I mean, anything you'd like to share with us about IUL, what's exciting, what resources that we have available? I can make screen share available to you. Anything that you like, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jamie, you definitely covered some of the key highlights. What I love about it, like you said, it goes all the way up to 450,000 from ages 18 to 75. We don't put, a cap on that 450,000 at any point. The other thing that I really like is when you get into the age bracket, when you hit 65 to 75, you actually can go down as low as 25,000 in coverage. So for everyone else, it starts at 50,000 for a minimum base amount. 65 and up starts at 25,000. We have found that price wise, it's going to compete with most final expense products out there. So, you could have a final expense client, and instead of putting them into a Eagle or whatever final expense product, you could put them in a $25,000 IUL product, save them a little money, get some cash value there. So that's a really good option that we were really excited about adding on. We've got our interest is based on the performance of the S&P 500 with 2 indexed interest options with a 1-year index period. Obviously, it's got the potential to accumulate cash value. And the other thing that I also really like about this is that our living benefits that you know and love with our term products are already included in the price. And so when you look at the price, it's extremely competitive. I actually have some comparisons pulled up. So most age brackets that you're going to look at, we're going to compete pretty competitively. In fact, we're going to be a little bit lower priced with most of your other easy solve premiums, not to name, any names, but looking at like $150,000 for a 30-year-old non-smoking male, our premium comes in at $55.43. Any of you with the quoting calculator could see that that's almost $20 cheaper than some of our competitors month over month. So I know that's traditionally not always our MO, but we're really, really excited that we have spent the time to be able to research this and make sure we have it indexed properly to be able to have it be extremely competitive. I will say we don't like 40-year-old men for some reason. They're a couple dollars more expensive. And we don't really care for 35-year-old women. For whatever reason, they're a little bit priced a tiny bit more expensive as well, but still really, really competitive. Comp is going to be pretty comparable to what you're used to in other simplified issue IULs. All in all, it's just, in my opinion, it's a really, really great product. I think you guys are going to love it. The instant decision is huge. We aren't sending these to underwriting, the texting signature. And then, of course, as you know, illustrations are required to state law for all clients to sign a copy of their illustration when they purchase an IUL product. We have that built into our texting signature. So when you run the quote, you set your client up, you're going to see the illustration at the very beginning. This product illustrates extremely well. The illustrated rate is 8.42%. So it's a really competitive, it's a really good illustration for your client to see there at the beginning. And then when you get to the texting signature, we will send that to them, a link for that illustration if they want to review it right then. And that's included in that 6-digit text signature. So there's not, a separate signing process, or, they don't have to sign anything separate. So that makes it really nice and really easy for them as well.
100%. Josh, I'd love if you could chime in real quick just to kind of give a little bit of IUL 101 for some agents on here who maybe aren't super familiar. So when we're talking about illustrated rates and we're talking about all this stuff, it might sound like a little bit of gibberish. If you could just kind of back us up a little bit, talk to us like we're kindergartners, and just give us a real basic overview of kind of the different things on an IUL and how this would work.
Yeah, so glad you brought that up, Jamie. So, a lot of us who are running, whole or final expense or mortgage protection, we're not used to looking at illustrations, right? This is just an example, a grid of what the policy is going to do year over year and how the cash value is going to grow and all those kinds of things. And if you've ever looked at one at first, it just looks like a big grid of confusing numbers. But there's a few things in there. And an illustrated rate is the cash value is going to grow and it's going to get some kind of interest rate. On many whole life products, it's like a set, 4 to 5% that's going to grow on. We love IULs because you get to participate in the upside without participating in the downside, meaning if the market it goes up, even though it's not invested in the market, you're going to get some of those higher interest rates on your cash value. And, across the board, if we, not to name companies, but, some of the top companies out there, they might illustrate at like a 6.42 or a 6.82. So this is like really, really good when you're graphing it on paper. It looks really good. It's going to grow aggressively, which that is really awesome. The other thing that, Madison, you mentioned, that especially when you get into that older crowd, I did not know that. I was on some of the trainings. I saw that it started at 50,000, but 65 and up, it starts at 25,000. That age range of folks, when you're talking to seniors, whether they want an IUL, or they're looking at mortgage protection or final expense, what have you, they're kind of they have this threshold where they have to get 50,000 if they're going to look at that product, and maybe that is like just beyond their budget. So having an option, this is probably one of the few, if only, options that they can go down to 25,000, which really opens the door for them to get into this product where maybe they were locked out or priced out. So that's really exciting. So Madison, I do want to ask something about the illustration. I was going to mention that before, but I figured
Yep.
you'd probably touch on a couple things.
Yep.
So
And
I
I just threw an example one up there. Hopefully you guys can see that.
Yeah, awesome. So cool. And I'll just so when you're looking at an illustration where you have, and maybe you'd say it different, but here we have it, and it says alternated scale and non-guaranteed. So for everybody out there that hasn't looked at this, normally we're looking at this right side non-guaranteed. That's kind of what we're talking to our clients about. Hey, this is the close to reality of what's going to happen. So that's really good. And this would be set up on like a I don't know, for all of us who's been looking at IULs, this would be like a quote unquote an easy solve option, for the lack of a better term. That's kind of what we know it as. Now you said it was the signed illustration is built into the software.
Yes.
Is there anything that we can go in and do like a target or a max fund and that kind of thing?
Great question. Yeah, so day one, that's not quite available yet. So that is something that we're working on and are going to roll out. I don't have a timeline on it. I do know that if we would have required that to be like a day one requirement, it would have delayed our release. So day one, all we have is what we're calling our Easy Solve Premium, which is going to be, just whatever the illustration is for you at the time of quoting the policy. Eventually, we're going to roll that out. We have about, 20 open spots for tickets for day two items. That's really where we're going to kind of lean on you guys and kind of get your feedback and listen and say, hey, well, carrier X has this feature. This really would take your product to the top, or this carrier has the ability to do this. We really want this built in. So we know that day one, we're really confident that you guys will love it, but it's also still very bare bones. And so we will be definitely adding to it, taking feedback on what we can do to improve it, and rolling stuff out pretty quickly over the next couple of months.
Okay. So that actually, and again, that's why I kind of didn't ask any questions to start, because I figured you'd be answering them along the way. So I know a lot of us, a number of us on here that we talk every day, we're working, we're designing IULs. One of the things that we saw in the material is that when the policies are sold, they're always going to be sold level death benefit. And then the next year two, if they want to change to increasing, they can. And
Correct.
I would assume that the reason that is because, like you just said, day one, it's going to kind of, everything's going to look like this. So that would just not make sense to have an increasing death benefit unless we could go in and do like max funded, and that'll just come later. So that's probably why that's the way it is, right?
Correct. And they can change, like their death benefit. They can do all of that anytime after the first policy year.
Okay, awesome. That's standard stuff. So that really makes a lot of sense. So, this, the target market, if you will, would be maybe not necessarily right yet those people that want to like specifically max fund an IUL and do all that intricate stuff. But this is like final expense, mortgage protection. I want to get in the door and have a good amount of death benefit or living benefit, but I like the cash value side as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
just to jump in, so previously our probably top selling product was CBO, and CBO is a fantastic product. Get your money back after 15, 20, 25, 30 years. The monthly premium is much higher. And then obviously you get the money back. But you could only get your money back at 30 years, correct? There was no
Correct.
flexibility at pulling money out early.
Correct.
Okay. And obviously you were getting back exactly what you put in without interest as well, correct?
Yes.
So great product. You know, I have a CBO. I love my CBO. I'm very tempted to do the Americo IUL instead for all the benefits that I've learned about IUL. However, with that, you know, let's just pretend that I got that IUL instead of the CBO back then. I would have a little bit more flexibility to be able to actually use the cash value, take out policy loans, all of that stuff. Whereas with the CBO, I didn't really have a choice. It was just, you've got insurance in force for 30 years. If you make all your payments and you outlive the term, you get your money back. But with this, I have a little bit more flexibility, correct?
Correct. And your premium is going to be on average between $20 and $35 cheaper on the IUL over the CBO.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal. What resources does everyone have access to learn more about the Americo's IUL and everything else you guys have?
Yeah, great question. So first and foremost, we have AmericoIUL.com. That's going to be our IUL microsite. It's got all of our highlight flyers, the product availability guide, all of that stuff. We've got a lot more that's coming to it as well. So we're going to roll out client materials, advertising materials. So we actually have created a lot of pre-approved advertising materials that we'll throw out there that you guys can email out to your clients, throw on social media, text out, you know, however it may be. That will all be in that materials and training section. So definitely keep an eye on that site. As we get closer to Friday, they're going to just start bombarding it with information. Another really good one, and I recommend everyone, if you haven't been on our Thursday training calls, every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do FFL exclusive training. So for the month of February, all of our FFL trainings have been around IULs. Week 1, we did a product highlight overview. William Hanna, he's been with our company for 20 plus years. There's nobody in the entire world, in my opinion, that knows more about product knowledge than him. So he put on a great training week 1, just kind of really going into the weeds, what an IUL is, specifically what the Americo IUL is and how that works and how, you know, you can benefit from selling it. Week 2, he did a illustration demo. And then this next week, I think he's doing an e-app walkthrough. And then week 4, he's doing a materials and marketing overview for our IUL product. So you can register for those at ffl.americo.com for the next ones. But also on ffl.americo.com, you can watch back the previous 2 trainings. So we typically try to keep those at about 20 minutes long. I will say these definitely went a little bit longer because there's so much information and he gets really excited. So they made it about 30, 35 minutes. But if you go into that training channel there up at the top, all of our, and then in the FFL training channel, all of the IUL trainings are out there now. So it doesn't look like they got the illustration one out there yet. That should be out there by tomorrow. So you can rewatch that one, and then you can sign up on that same link for all of the trainings that are coming up. So those are the 2 biggest ones. I think the trainings that we did the last 2 Thursdays are huge. They're really good ones. And I know I even benefited from watching them back afterwards also.
Are there any incentives coming forward for
So
pushing?
I'm glad you asked. There are 2. I'm not really sure that I'm supposed to share them yet, but you know, it's fine. It's coming soon. So yes, we have 2 actually. So starting Friday through the end of this U1st period. So for those, I know, Jamie, I heard you say you had a couple new people on here. For those that are new, U1st is our agent reward system. So some carriers do trips, we do cash. We do a 10% cash bonus on anything that you can issue over 50,000, as long as you're meeting, the quality guidelines there. So 50,000 and issue paid, life production gets you a 10% bonus. There's no cap on that. So you can write it, we'll pay you 10% on it. For the IUL product, so starting Friday through the end of this You First goal period, we're going to give an additional 25% bonus You First credits. So essentially, for every 3 IULs with us you write, it's basically like you're getting IUL credits for 4. If you were to just write IULs, it would essentially pay you out a 12.5% bonus instead of a 10% bonus. So if you're new, you haven't started writing Americo yet, or you haven't written much Americo, this can get you qualified. You have plenty of time still to qualify. This goal period is going to run through the end of May. We're going to pay you out in June. So you've got plenty of time to qualify and get that bonus with that added incentive.
And the one thing I'll also say about that is when you write IULs just in general, the premiums tend to be higher.
Yes.
Because you're able to justify that with the fact that it's a level of permanent coverage. You're able to justify that by saying, hey, when I sit down with someone who's 70 and I talk about a 15-year term, like, hey, this is going to last till your age 85 and the premium is $650 a month. But if you live till age 86, you will have paid the insurance company about 90 grand and they are going to keep it all. Are you excited about that? And they're never really excited about that. But when I'm like, hey, this is like a savings account with an interest rate and you have insurance and your family's guaranteed to get paid when you die and it has living benefits, like you can justify that higher premium a lot more of the time. Most of my easy solve IULs that have come in the last few years, I mean, the premium, like 90% of the time is well over $200 a month. I mean, I've got one that came from those exclusive leads that I was talking about. That's going to be a $340 a month premium. And that was only for 100,000 in coverage. I mean, if you come across somebody, and I've come across plenty of people in the last handful of years who they are 70, 72, 73, and they want permanent coverage and they want a high level of coverage and they are doing well financially. I mean, I can't wait to see the first person go out and write the $1,000 a month premium for, a 72-year-old. That's going to be, pretty wild because there's not really any carrier that we have that you can write a simplified issue premium that large and get paid, as quickly as we do. Especially, the last thing I'll touch on is the persistency. I'm so excited for this because if you look at final expense and mortgage protection, Integrity came out with some numbers and they said on average, again, this is including all great agents and all bad agents, the average persistency for final expense and mortgage protection is around 70%. That's industry wide. Now you take all the good agents and all the bad agents for all the IULs across the entire industry, it's closer to 90 or 92% persistency, which is absolutely wild to be able to say. I mean, and there's times, and Madison will say this probably with no shame. There's been times where our CBOs have gotten replaced because of that $20 or $30 or $40 difference in price, and being able to offer the simplified issue IUL with the high level of coverage, the persistency is just going to go through the roof because there's really not many agents who are equipped to come, especially if Americo is priced better than most of the competitors. It's going to be very, very rare that somebody can come behind you with a simplified issue solution and replace your business. The only reason someone's going to be canceling is because you maybe oversold them, found something outside of their budget, but you're going to have a very small chance that an agent's going to be able to come behind you and beat your policy. Even if it's $2 cheaper, I mean, you should hopefully be able to be an agent that's worth the extra $2. It's when you see agents coming behind and they're like, hey, I can save you 50 or 70 bucks a month, but that's not going to be the case with this product. So I'm just really excited to see agents' persistency go through the roof. If you could keep 20% more, how much is your business going to go ahead and change, which is really exciting. What else exciting is going on in Americo, Madison? I mean, we can talk about some other products while we have you as well. We don't have to just talk about IUL, what about Americo can we get excited about?
Well, I have one more IUL incentive also. Okay. So we also are going to do, and this is going to run through, I want to say April 30th. So you've got about 6 weeks. The first 5 IULs that you issue, we're going to give you a $100 cash bonus. So if you issue 5 IULs in that first 6 weeks, you get an extra $500. So you get 25% bonus to your first credits, great commissions, and an extra $500 just given to you. So we're really, really excited. We know that we're really confident that you guys are going to love it. So we got some great incentives. So I think both of those should entice everybody to check it out on Friday.
Absolutely. Is there anything else going on in Americo that we can get excited about, or is it just all hands on deck IUL?
So it really has been all hands on deck IUL, but now that we're here and we're ready to go live, we definitely have some exciting products that we're working on. Nothing, set in stone yet, but there have been rumblings about potentially a new final expense product. Maybe I haven't heard for sure, if or when that'll come out yet. We're always talking about making changes to our ADV policy. Jamie, I know you and I talked about that earlier. So, I think we have a laundry list of projects that we're super excited to finally be able to dive into and get some exciting stuff kind of out to market now that, our 18-month long development is finally over.
Yeah, just kind of shifting gears here just a little bit. Madison, what is your relationship with us, and how can our agents take advantage of that? And like, obviously you're here, I've got your number, Josh has your number. Like, are these agents on this call, are they allowed to reach out to you, and like, what can they get help with?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple resources for you on that ffl.americo.com site. There's a contact us section. It's going to have my email address and my phone number. That's my cell phone. So you can call me, text me. I always tell everyone text is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. Myself and then Bobby, the other account rep. We travel a lot. We love to do these Zooms and trainings. So if you're calling me, a text probably is the easiest way to do it. We also have, I mentioned him earlier, that does our trainings. His name is William Hanna. He essentially does what Bobby and I do, but he does it in the home office. So, he doesn't travel. So he is 9 times out of 10, if you call and he's not on another call, he'll answer. And if you're texting, he texts back right away because his job is to help all of us in the home office. His cell phone number and email is also on that contact us page. And then another good resource that I love to give out to everyone is agent.services@americo.com. This is a great email address. We've got a team of, I think there's 8 of them now. Their only job is to answer that email address. That's what they get paid a salary to sit and do all day long, is answer that email address. So if you email them, you are guaranteed to get a same day reply before 3:30 Central Standard Time. There have been times that I've emailed them needing them to look at something when I'm on the road at 5 p.m. Central, and I'm still getting replies same day from them. So I always tell agents, if you just have a really high level question, hey, this policy on the portal shows it's pending an amendment. Can you tell me what that's for? Or, something just super high level that you don't want to call in and sit on hold for, or, it's not necessarily something major that you need to text or call me for. I always tell agents, email that agent.services@americo.com with your question, run an appointment, and by the time you're done, you're probably going to have your answer waiting for you in your inbox. So that's a really, really good resource as well.
That's amazing. And then you guys also, I noticed on the website, you guys put in the ability that agents can request to actually have you attend these
Yes.
type of virtual meetings, and also in-person meetings. And we've had you out to many in-person meetings, so they can also request to have you guys at their events.
Yeah, absolutely. In person, or like you said, in person, or like this, Zoom. We love being able to talk to you guys on Zoom and just jump on. So this is always really easy. And yeah, you can request that, like you said, on the ffl.americo.com site, or you can just, text me like you did and ask if one of us will be here, and we'll show up.
Awesome. And I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. We're working on planning our next lock-in here, hopefully in like the next 6 to 8 weeks. And hopefully we're going to do it in a super fun location. Can we, if the dates all work out, can we count on you being there?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely will be there.
Americo sponsored lock-ins.
Yes.
Americo takes care of us. A lot of the times they feed our agents, and we're just super grateful for them helping out. And they typically offer incentives, prizes. Whoever sells the most Americo, I think in our last lock-in, Sean Simpson got a really nice Yeti cooler and an Americo blanket. So they always go ahead and take care of us. Josh, you got any final thoughts on everything moving forward? Anything Americo related that you'd like to share, or any questions you have for Madison?
No, I think that's it. Madison, really appreciate you hopping on. You know, if you want to send more hats, we'll wear them.
Deal.
That's a
And
fact. Awesome. Well, guys, Madison, we appreciate you. We'll let you go, but guys, also in the next couple of weeks, we have, you know, Lead Champ Pro coming out directly for all of our agents. One of the things we have been working on is making sure that the Americo IUL information is in there, and we have the ability to go ahead and quickly send it to our clients. So any client that ends up in any type of a think about it category, or any client that you just want to be able to quickly send info, we can obviously do that. So I'll give you all a quick example of one that I just did. So let me just pull up a test account here. So as easy as going ahead and just clicking the button here, you know, send Americo info. I'll go click Americo IUL. Boom. Hey, John, I just sent you some info with some additional Americo and their Index Universal Life. Sends them an email. Hey, John, as promised, here's some more info on Americo. Here's an attached PDF on IUL. Here's their website, AM Best rating. You know, go ahead and check this out. Boom. Americo, IUL info right there. Click of a button. So we're building out all these resources for you guys, and it's going to be very, very exciting that you guys will have access to all of that. So, guys, we appreciate you. Everybody stick around for some live dials. We should have, you know, quite a few appointments happening here. It's only 2:43 on the West Coast and 5:43 over here. So we should still have a couple of quality hours of live dials. Madison, we appreciate you. Friday.
Thank you so much. Can't wait.
Yeah, 3 and some change days away. We can write Americo
Yes.
IUL. So
You
we
got it.
appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Okay.
Talk.
Thanks, guys.